Hope everyone had a nice holiday, good presents. Got a hoodie, not this hoodie. So you clicked on the title and saw Cyberpunk gaming PC for $80 or something like that, right? And since you can't play it on PlayStation 4 or Xbox One, you're like, this is impossible. Well, it can be done, but it's not the PC version. If you're looking for a PC that can game PC games for $80, you're gonna have a lot of trouble finding something like that. So this is an $80 PC. It's not exactly this that you can get for $80, but I'll show you a couple things that you can do and a couple things that you cannot do to get a $80 gaming PC that'll play Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk is gonna be played on Stadia. For $80, play Cyberpunk? You could use your phone, or you could also use like a tablet. You see, the cool thing about these PCs is the upgradability. This is kind of old, so the upgradability path for this is pretty dead, but there's other computers that you can do. The cool thing about these computers is if we have our RAM, our CPU, and our power supply, and also our SSD if we want, we can insert a pretty powerful graphics card that will allow you to play more demanding games such as, I don't know, Fortnite. So this is going to be our Stadia gaming PC. It's not going to be a gaming PC for PC games, but more of a streaming PC. Right now there's a pre-built Dell Optiplex. Basically has everything that this computer has. Has an i5 2400, which is our processor underneath this cooler. It's already installed, so you don't have to do any of that. 4 gigabytes of DDR3 RAM, so you might have to buy another one, but they're $10 each, so that'll push it up to 90. It also comes with a 500 gigabyte hard drive, which will be fine for playing games. This is just gonna be a Stadia PC. We're not gonna be downloading games, but it'll work just fine. Loading times may be a little bit slower. For $80, what else could you ask, you know? Get this, it'll be 100. If we take a look, this is how you're gonna receive your computer. This is basically it, right? Your power supply. Power supply will go right here. Your CPU with your fans already gonna come. 4 gigabytes of DDR3 RAM, and of course, the 500 gigabyte hard drive is gonna be in there. So that's what you're gonna get for $80 if you buy the pre-built. If you want to upgrade, what you can do to buy a SSD so you can replace the hard drive, or get yourself a power supply. But power supply, I think this should be enough. This is from an old pre-built. I don't know, we can test this out, see how it works. If it blows up, it blows up. You don't really need a powerful power supply because you're not going to be connecting a graphics card or anything like that. My advice for anybody looking for a PC, if you don't have money right now and you want to play Cyberpunk, I would recommend you to go this route. If people disagree with me, they disagree with me. If not, buy yourself a phone. You can play on your phone pretty well. Maybe your phone is powerful enough to play. I think iPhone 6s are $80 as well. If you want to learn how to build a PC, I do have a video. I want to do more videos, but connected. We're gonna have to run this outside of the case because it's not gonna work inside. It doesn't fit. Just make sure it doesn't damage anything. Do not try to do this to your computer. This is not how to build a computer. Do not build it like this. We hook that up, and basically that's it. Another problem with this, there is no HDMI on this motherboard. So you're gonna have to buy like one of these little, so basically this computer is, what I'm saying is $80 plus a few hundred. You're gonna have to buy a VGA to VGA for this specific motherboard. I mean, if your motherboard supports HDMI to DVI or VGA, or HDMI to HDMI, you can do it like that. You're also gonna need a monitor. The list just goes on and on and on. Hopefully it doesn't turn on. I mean, hopefully it turns on, but not like when I'm pressing it. If you don't have the OS installed, you're gonna have to install it. I'll probably make a video on how to install the OS into the hard drive, but we'll get there when we get there. I don't know, I kind of feel weird about this power supply, but as long as it's working, and you got it from a reputable eBay seller. If you buy from eBay, from one of those sellers, just make sure they have a lot of reviews and a lot of good reviews. There shouldn't be any problems. To connect your controller, or you can play keyboard and mouse if you want. It's playing pretty smooth. Smoother than that $200 Chromebook that I was playing on. That thing's old. Well, so is this. I think the Chromebook is newer than this, but this is a little bit more powerful, the CPU and stuff like that. Driving is pretty smooth. I can pan the camera like this. Okay, crash into things easily. What I've noticed though is I can't throw a grenade right now. And for some reason I cannot reload, but everything else runs pretty smooth. But sometimes I get that stuff happening on like good computers. I still get like stuff like this, where sometimes I can't reload. Sometimes I can't shoot. Sometimes I can't heal. I don't know if anybody else has that same glitch where you can't really do anything. Let me know in the comments below so I can figure out what's wrong with me. We got it to run. We got a mess of cables back here, you just can't see it. We got the power supply hanging out of here. We could run Cyberpunk with this power supply. You can run it with a pre-built machine. So for $80, if you want to buy a pre-built machine, if you want to, you can upgrade your power supply to something like this. I like EVGA, they make good power supplies. You also got Corsair. You could also upgrade from the hard drive to the SSD. This is a Team Group SSD. You just switch out the hard drive, or you can keep the hard drive. The listing that I showed you has 4 gigabytes of RAM. I would say buy another 4. So I'm not gonna actually show you how it runs with this power supply because I think it probably runs the same. We're not really powering anything graphically like this thing. Basically, this whole video was buy a pre-built computer. But a lot of people don't know about computers and how you can actually save more money in the long run as opposed to buying a console. Most people say, oh, let's just buy a console, right? I can play 1080p, 60 frames per second for the next 7 years. But now with Stadia, we got something cool, something different. Now we can be like, oh, let me buy $300 desktop computer, buy myself a controller. Doesn't matter what kind of controller. And if I want to, I can eventually be upgrading my PC that I built just for Stadia. Eventually I put a graphics card in there, I'll switch out the CPU, I'll put a new motherboard in, I'll get a new case, you know, I'll add more RAM. Year over year, you're gonna be building that. And the thing you can do is you can sell your old CPU to put it towards a new CPU. You can sell your old graphics card to put it towards a new graphics card. That will get you better performance in the long run. The cool thing is that with this computer, you can play Stadia, you can play Cyberpunk on it. PS4 couldn't handle Cyberpunk, but you can play it thanks to Google Stadia. You can't play the PC version, but eventually maybe you could sell this. Maybe do an awesome spray paint job on the case. Maybe you add a graphics card into it and then you can sell it. Maybe you switch out the whole motherboard, sell the motherboard. What you made from this motherboard that you sold, you put it towards a new motherboard and put that in your desktop computer. I would just prefer you to buy something cheap right now. Eventually down the road, you can sell the stuff and then you can be upgrading your PC so you can buy PC games. You get so many good discounts and deals on PC games. And I hope you do build a PC and be upgrading this part, that part, this other part, do a paint job on it, switch cases. If something dies, you don't have to replace your whole computer. You can just buy the part, put it in, you're good to go. If your PS5 dies, you might have to take it to a repair shop and they'll tell you, you know what, just buy a whole new PS5. If you have any questions on how to build, or if you want any help with your build, just let me know. I'll try my best down in the comments to help you out. Try to respond to the comments, but sometimes I just forget to read them. And then days pass and then I don't. I hope that encourages you to build your own PC, and I hope to catch you on another video.